got any warmer, I wouldn't be able to take it out here. It would be a little too warm for my likings, especially since I've got this whole window part here. I've got 4 big windows that goes across this wall here that lets the sun in. And it's good for whenever I have space to video, but when it's 100 degrees outside, it's pretty warm out here. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's warm. I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee today. Why am I on my 3rd cup of coffee today? Because I have been up since 4:30 this morning. Went and made breakfast and stuff for Doug, so he has food to go to work today. And usually I'll lay back down for a little while and doze off. Maybe watch a little bit of TV and doze off. But I didn't today. I actually was pretty motivated to work on videos. Yesterday I did 8 knitting videos, tutorials, for different stitches and stuff. I did that yesterday, and so they're ready. All I gotta do is edit them and put them up. And then today, so far, I've done 5 crochet videos, and I have at least 9 more to do today. A lot of work. I probably won't get them all done, to be honest, because I run out of space on the the SD card, and or I'll run out of battery or whatever, and so it has to charge. But I figure I'll get a lot of them done today and then finish up tomorrow. Yeah, here soon in the next couple weeks. It won't be next week, maybe the week after. I'm getting myself on a routine, a schedule for my videos, and instead of posting Tuesday and Friday, I'm switching my days up to where it is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so if you've seen Tuesday's video was a yarn review, and I've got all of this yarn here. Some of it I've never worked with, some of it is, and most of this is old yarn. But I figured I could do a mixture of old yarn and new yarns and do a review on them and tell you what I think. You may be interested in it. You may want to know what it works up, how it looks before you go and buy a big quantity for a project, you know. So I am working on, next week I'll be working on review videos. This week I'm working on tutorial videos, and then I'll have a bunch built up so that I can work on writing patterns while those are out. All I'll have to do is do podcast episodes, and if I want to do a special video, which I have some lined up that I want to make, but I haven't figured out the order that I want to do it. So that's going to be a little bit longer before I get those out, but they will come out. I don't have a lot to show you today, but I do have a finished object. This one has been riding around in my purse for a couple months, I think. And it's just one of those things when I'm sitting in the car or we're sitting at somewhere that we have to wait a little while, I'll do a couple rows of this, and that way I can keep my hands busy, because sometimes I get nervous. I used to have severe anxiety problems growing up. I don't anymore, but sometimes I get fidgety, and so knitting and crochet helps me calm my nerves enough that I can function good. I'm not kind of, I don't know what the word would be besides fidgety, awkward, I guess, because I'm already an awkward person. I don't need any help in that department. But yeah. And so I finished this. I'm not going to take it off because it is taming this mess underneath, because I braided my hair and did all that. But it's just, see if I can do this. It's a triangle, kind of like a bandana, half of a bandana. And I took and did an I-cord here, I-cord bind off, and the straps that you tie in the back are I-cord as well. And because it stretches, the yarn that I used, here it is. This is my hand-dyed yarn. This is my rainbow yarn. It's, the name of it is A Promise. And that's what I have left. It's attached to another project. Haven't worked much of it, but that's what I have left of this yarn. This was 100 grams. And I could probably make, honestly, 2 more out of this if I wanted to. But yeah, I figure I'll make a couple more of these in solid colors. Oops. This is my DK base. And so I used, what size needles did I use? Hold on. I think I used these. Yeah. Size 8, 5mm knitting needles. This is my, not Knit Picks, it's Knitter's Pride set. Because you can get a cheaper set at Hobby Lobby. And it comes with a case and a handful of needles and different cables and stuff. And that's what I have here. That's most of my knitting needles. Is I have these. I have a handful of Hobby Lobby brand. And then in there I have my little red pouch that's got my Chiagu in it. And so those are the ones I use right now. I think I've got 1 or 2 wooden ones. And I am not a wooden knitting needle person. I like metal and I like plastic, depending on what kind of yarn I'm using. And with as slick as this is, because it is 100% superwash merino, it's got more of a slicker feel to it. The plastic knitting needles are better to me than metal, because I'm afraid that they would slip off. Because I'm not a advanced knitter, I'm a beginner knitter, and so I'm still learning all of the tricks. And I still stress over whether or not I lose my stitches. I know that more advanced knitters know if they do this, they can pick their stitches back up and it'll be just fine. I'm not to that point yet. So I stress over whether or not I drop a stitch. But this, with the plastic needles, keeps it kind of tamed. And all I did was, honestly, all I did was cast on however many stitches I thought would go from ear to ear. And you see, once it stretches, it'll go over here. And I like these to be snug, because when Doug wants to go out on the motorcycle, I put bandanas on. This I won't be able to use because it'll fall off. But I like the way a bandana looks, but I wanted something a little bit more, I don't know, it feels better on my head. I wanted something like that to wear around the house that will keep my hair out of my face, plus, you know, I mean, keep everything tamed, and it doesn't look bad. I like it. I wasn't really sure at the beginning. I asked Doug, I told him, I said, what do you think? And he's like, well, I like it. So, I mean, it's growing on me. It takes me a minute, but it's growing on me. And the I-cord ties, you don't have to make them very long. I just did them about like that. So, because they stretch, you don't have to have a whole bunch. You just got to have enough to make sure this wraps around your head and you can tie it in a bow in the back. I don't knot it, I bow it. I tied in a bow whenever I tied in the back. And I just braided my hair so that it didn't look like a matted mess, you know. It's not matted, but you can tell I haven't washed my hair today, so yeah. I haven't worked on I haven't worked on Doug's socks since the last time we talked. It's actually been sitting here waiting, because honestly I was looking to see if I had any 3mm, no, not 3mm, 3.25, it's a number 3 knitting needle on a longer cord, because I was going to try magic loop. I've never been successful with magic loop, but I thought I'd try it because the short needles make my hands cramp. But I think there is an extender in my Chiago bag that I can connect the two longer cords together and do it that way. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if that'll work. Depends on how long it makes the cord. But before I completely forget, okay, so that one goes to this one, that one goes to that one. I got my crochet hooks here along with my projects because, I don't know, I just grabbed because I wanted to work on my podcasting episode. So I gotta be sure I don't lose them whenever I go back to work on them. Now I showed you this. This is my hand-dyed yarn, colorway A Promise. And after I finished this, I wanted to work on something else with that and kind of work on getting rid of the rest of the ball because I didn't know what else to do with it. And so I started in on a ponytail hat here. And that is what I have done so far. These are bean stitches. That's a bean stitch, and that's a video that I'll show you how to do in the future. But yeah, I've got half double crochets in between the rows of bean stitches, and I'm just working a ribbing on the bottom as I go. I'm using a 5mm H hook with just a elastic band. That way the hole at the top for a ponytail, it won't stretch anything out. And that is what I have so far. This might be a pattern later. I just wanted something to work with because all of my other patterns that I've got started so far, besides the sock, the patterns that I'm writing, are at a standstill. One of them I have to video, well no, two of them I have to video before I start. And the other one I have to write up so much before I can go on to the next part. And so I'm procrastinating about writing them up, and I've already got other videos that I've got to do today, so I can't video the other ones. So yeah, kind of at a standstill, and I wanted something to work on while I waited and got things done. Now this other project, I'm using an I 5.5, and this can you tell what it is? Oh, there it is. Okay, this is the front. This is going to be a poncho, and it's basic. There's not a whole bunch going on. I do herringbone for a little while, and then I go into some open work here. And once I block it, all of that will come out a little bit more. But it's a 4-pointed poncho. Put it on for you for just a second. But that is the way it's supposed to look. And so, if you look, I've gone through one whole cake. This is what one whole cake does. I've got one more here. Let me take this off real quick because it's warm. That's what I have left of the first cake. And then I have one left here. It is Lime Brand Mandela. It's 590 yards, so that means that I would be doing 1,180 yards worth of this. 2 would be 1,180, right? But it's a lightweight number 3. And the colorway I'm using is Genie. I've had it for a little bit, and the first one that I used had a clearance tag on it. So I figure I got these on clearance whenever Walmart was wanting to put new stuff on the shelf. But yeah, this is the pattern. Once I get done with the videos today, it'll probably be next week before I start videoing. But I've got to start a video for this because I'm going to do a video tutorial to go along with it. So that's going to be a minute. And I really need to start writing the pattern before I get the details. But yeah, I'm using a 5.5mm crochet hook to go with that. And last week I told you that I hadn't made enough progress on my knitted shawl to show you anything. And, excuse me, this week I finished, last week I finished, no, I think it was Monday that I finished it. Well, the first half of it. This is the first half of the shawl. I have blocked this section. And then after this, I have another section which is going to go on the bottom of this shawl. And the way I plan to wear it, if I can figure out how I was doing it. I like that. And I also like doing it like this. I figure once I get the second section on, it'll kind of expand a little bit. But that's what I've got so far. And I have a stitch pattern that I have in mind for the bottom section. I haven't started on it yet, obviously. But I did block the project. And this is using, again, my hand-dyed yarn. This is my Angora base. And it is a fingering weight yarn. I have 50-gram hanks and I dyed 4 of them because I didn't know how much yarn I would need to do the project. And so far I've used 1 and a partial. These are the needles I'm using. But I have that much left of the second skein. So I'm glad I dyed up 4 of them. And the needles I'm using is a size 6 4mm. I've got longer ones here so that I can hold all the stitches whenever I do the second part. But yeah. That is what I have so far. And it'll fit comfortably around my shoulders. But I am broad-shouldered, so I prefer whenever I do it over like that, I like to have it a little bit longer. But, yeah. Once I get the second part on it, it may be a little bit more, maybe a little bit easier. It may look a little bit better this way. But you could totally take and tie it. I don't have a name for it yet. I haven't figured that part out yet. But I am loving the tonal teal here. And I told you that I wanted to take and make a shirt. Do I have more of that yarn on my shelf? Probably have to go digging for the other part because I've got 3 skeins. Yeah, I gotta find the other 2 skeins. But I have 3 skeins of this. This is my tie-dyed purple-black combination. It doesn't have a name to it because I never put this one out for sale. This was just for me because I'm a purple lover. But that's what it looks like. And I took and swatched for my shirt. Ooh. You can tell there's Angora in that. Yep. Good day to wear black. But I took and swatched for my shirt, down here I used a 6mm crochet hook, and it was a little too loose. I didn't care for it. So up here, starting right about there-ish, I did a 5.5, and it felt a little bit better in my hands. I'm one that, whenever I go to crochet something, I usually go down a hook instead of up. I don't care for, I like the drapiness, but I'm not big on big gapping holes unless I'm trying to make lace. And so I didn't care for the 6mm hook because this is half double crochets. And so I didn't care for that. I went down, I guess, half a hook, because it would be 5.5 would be half. So, and I'm still not convinced that this is what I want. I may take it out and do some more swatching. They say you're not supposed to take your swatch out and redo because it's already been blocked, but yeah, if you look how drapey it is. That's going to be a really comfortable shirt whenever I make it. This is my DK base, by the way. It's my 100% superwash merino. It's really soft, and I wouldn't say slick, but it's got that kind of slick feel to it. This is really nice working up. It's the same as this. It's really nice. I've got one more thing before I go on to my blather section, I guess you would call it. I showed this in the last episode, I believe, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And I think I figured out. Since then, I have blocked it. I'm not going to unfold it because I plan on taking pictures of it folded like this. But this project is made with Lion Brand Heartland in 3 different colors. And I used 1 skein of each. And so, because it is using double crochets and it's an open stitch, I know one way is like 40 inches, 42 inches. And I can't remember the other way. But 42 and something else. So it's big enough to be a blanket after it's blocked. And I'm glad I blocked it. I wasn't sure with acrylic because acrylic I don't have much luck getting any difference out of whenever I block it. So I don't usually block my acrylic items. It doesn't usually make a difference for me. But I did block this, and I got about ½ an inch to an inch more than what I thought I would. And so that was very helpful. And what I'm going to do is write up the pattern as a blanket. And I will be writing that this weekend and having it out to test next week. Because I used 3 skeins. And probably, I'd say this is probably a crib size blanket. And so I'm going to write the pattern up, get pictures, everything, and try to get that done this weekend and send it out next week to test. And once that's done, I'll be able to publish this pattern. Yeah, and I can't remember what hook size I used right at this very second. I'll have to go look. But, yeah. It didn't take much at all. And if you're interested in testing a pattern, you can message me on here or you can message me on Instagram and we can work something out. Because I do have a Facebook group where all of my testers go to be notified about tests and stuff, and we kind of communicate in there. So if you want to test, you can test. I am all for it. But I have 1 more skein of each color, and once I get that done, I'm going to switch it over and make it into a cardigan for me, because I don't have a baby girl around to have a baby blanket, so there's no point in me having a baby blanket. I'm going to switch it over to a cardigan And that's what I'll wear this one because it's purple. It's pretty. And I think that is it. I've been talking for 25 minutes. But last thing is I got Doug's birthday present in. Doug's birthday was the 31st of last month. And his birthday present I ordered like on the 12th or the 13th, and it took its sweet time to get here. And so it's the 2nd, 2 days after, and his present is just coming in. His other present should be here in the next little bit. They're saying that it'll be delivered today too. But I got him this, and he's been asking for a guitar for a while, and he found a list of ones that he liked, and he's like, here, hands me the phone. It's like, you pick the one you like the best, don't tell me what it is, and order it. I don't want to know, but this is what I want for my birthday. He doesn't know anything about this besides the fact that it's supposed to be coming. He doesn't know what it is. And by the time this video comes out, he will already know. So I'm not worried about showing y'all. But it came in today. In fact, less than an hour ago. And he didn't ask for this, but this is what I wanted to get him. I thought it would be special. And I've got a stepdaughter. His daughter's name is Jody. And so I had her mom work with her to write him a little note. And I had it engraved on this wallet. And on the back of it, I talked to his cousin Tommy, and we discussed on what verse to put on the back because I wanted it to be special. I wanted him to like it, and his cousin Tommy knows him very well, and so he gave me a list of verses that was good, and I picked one, and this is the verse that I chose. You can look it up yourself and see. I'm so proud of this. And something that I've never seen in men's wallets, he's got that fold out, he's got that fold out, but in this one, it's got a zipper, which I think is so stinking cool. But it'll hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. And you can tell when you run your nails across it, it's engraved. It's not like ink or whatever. There's grooves. And so, yeah, I am so excited for this. And if you're interested in getting something like this, I will leave the link down in the comment section. No, I'll put it in the Ravelry group because I do show notes there. If I can remember, I will look for it and put it down in there because, my opinion, well worth it. It's a nice leather. It's Bent's Best Leather Goods. So I'm assuming that it is real leather. It's not bulky, but it's got enough to it that you know it's not going to fall apart anytime soon, you know? But yeah. And if it's real leather, then it'll wear and the color will change a little bit, and I think that will be really cool to do. I hope he really likes it because I'm super excited about it. Like, really, really excited. Yeah. Well, folks, that is all I have for you today. I know, not a lot, but I still managed to blather on. Okay, so my battery ended up shutting off because I didn't charge the camera long enough. But I wanted to go ahead and get on here and make sure to tell y'all bye because I didn't want to leave y'all hanging. But, yeah, I blathered on for about 30 minutes or so, I believe. And so I'm going to go ahead and get off here. But y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see y'all next week.